my little town, as you heard, Transylvania, which was Hungary and Romania, it changed so many hands. In my little town, the story is that one day the father turns to his little boy and says, "Look, please close the door, it's cold outside." And the boy said, "Father, and if I close the door, will it be warm outside?" Very good answer, except today, if I were that boy, I would say to Dad, if I leave the door open, it is because I would like those who are cold outside to come in. Isn't this what you are doing? What we all try to do. Those who are cold, those who need anything, that we should say the door is open. Heart is open. There is something about helping others, which is so filled with beauty, and I use the word advisedly, with beauty. To be able to help someone who is hungry, and just give him a piece of bread. Someone who lives in fear and say, "Wait, we are with you." Someone who feels alone. To say, "Wait a second, God alone is alone. Human beings are not, mustn't be." Because one of the aspects of personal tragedy is that the victim of society, or the prisoner of destiny, they feel alone. And that they don't deserve. That solitude they don't deserve. That doesn't mean that poverty they deserve, hunger they deserve, or sickness they deserve, but that they are sick or they are hungry. But that they should be alone, the solitary prisoner in his cell, the AIDS patient on his bed, to know that nobody cares, that we must never tolerate. And so therefore, I remember a marvelous legend, a Hasidic legend, that the great master once said, "We know that since God is, He is everywhere. He is in creation, which means He is in His creatures. Is there one place where God is not?" And the master said, "Yes. When it comes to helping those who need help, don't rely on God." You could say, "Hey, Mr. Beggar, if you are a beggar, because God wants you to be a beggar, who am I to go against God's will? Be an atheist. Don't trust God. Don't rely on God. If that beggar opens his palm, put something in his hand, and don't say God will do it. God has other problems. And He has other things to deal with. But when that beggar is here, give him something." And so therefore, we can see the reward in giving. In the Hebrew language, which is the sacred language, the giving, the word giving, which is natan, can read backwards and forward. He or she who gives is being given the privilege to give. In giving, one receives the gratitude of the person who needs, you will give. And so, naturally, we have seen terrible things in this world. I met here tonight somebody with whom I think I was at the same time in Aranyapatet. Aranyapatet was a huge refugee camp on the Cambodian border. And together with IRC, I went there to see what was happening in Cambodia. And in that camp, 180,000 people from Cambodia. So of course, children, always children. Any cause that either my own or I have espoused, it begins with children. The society is being defined by its attitudes towards children. And there are some children, poor, sick, lonely, orphans. And then at one point, our guide shows us a barrack, a special barrack. And there were some 600 adolescents. And they actually behaved like in military manner. They ate together, they walked together in discipline. And I thought, these poor victims. And the other guy said, oh no, they are the Khmer Rouge. At this point I wanted to shout with anger. To take children and train them to be killers. What kind of world do we live in? And then you didn't know, I didn't. What is worse? To be a victim of these children or to be one of the children? Trained children to kill their own parents. And that was going on for 4 or 5 years. And the leaders of the world knew not much was done. But that is always the case. We rely on others. Don't. The beauty of Fidesco is really, I must say, the beauty of what we are all trying to do in each in our own organization. When you and I have a little foundation and we take care of 1,000 Ethiopian children in Israel. When these children enter the classroom at the beginning, they are the worst in class. After a year in our centers, they are the best in class. You can help children. You can help the prisoner. If not all, at least one. You can transcend your own limitations. And simply then to feel that you are giving destiny a slap in the face. Poverty is an indictment of those who allow the poor to be poor. Hunger is a mark of shame. Strangely enough, the prophet Ezekiel, of the great prophets that we all have, speaks about the shame of hunger. And in the beginning, the student that I am didn't understand. Why should a hungry person feel shame? Isn't it enough that he or she feels hungry? And then I understood, oh no. When that person is hungry, I should be ashamed. So that is the reason why this beautiful organization is doing what it does. And we are here because I love beginnings. We are just beginning. I love beginnings in everything. The beginning of an encounter, even the beginning of a novel. I know myself. The real work is the beginning. When I don't have the first sentence, I cannot go on. Sometimes it takes me months to find the first phrase. It's the first passage, then it comes. So the beginning. And here you are at the beginning. So those of you who will continue here in America this marvelous work, remember I have a mantra. This is my mantra all the time as a teacher. It happens very often that my students at the end of the year say, what should we take away from this class? After a year or 2 or 3 or 4. And I always give the same answer. Then I repeat myself. I don't like repetitions. Then I repeat myself. And I say simply the mantra is, always, whatever you do, whatever the endeavor will be, whatever the direction of your life will take you, remember, think higher and feel deeper. Isn't this what we all try to do? When we think of our mission, we all are members of a very special group, a group that says the convulsions of history, turbulence of the world will not stop us, even if we save only one person. If we bring joy only to one family, if we bring hope to anyone, it should be enough. Because like peace, hope is not God's gift to human beings. It is a gift from each other to one another.